All right, let's talk about one of the most classic, most powerful, and honestly, one of the most butchered setups in all of trading, the structure break and retest. So many traders see this pattern forming, but very, very few can actually execute it with the kind of discipline it takes to be profitable. Well, today we're going to change that with a definitive checklist. And this quote right here. This gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? Looking back at a chart, everything seems so obvious. But in the heat of the moment, when your money is on the line, that clarity just vanishes. It's all ambiguity. That's where a checklist comes in. It's your tool for bringing clarity to the chaos, so you can act decisively when it matters most. Okay, so let's dive into what this setup actually is. The whole idea behind the break and retest is to get you into a market that's already trending. You see, price breaks a key level, pulls back to see if that old ceiling is now the new floor, and then, hopefully, continues on its way. It sounds so simple on paper, but oh man, it's the tiny details in between that just trip everybody up. So why is that? Why do so many people get this wrong? Well, it's not because they don't know what a break and retest looks like. I mean, anyone can spot one after the fact. The real failure is a lack of a process, a repeatable, disciplined system for making sure every single piece of the puzzle is in place before you put your capital at risk. Now, before we even touch the checklist, we've got to talk about a huge mindset shift. This is absolutely critical. This strategy, when done right, is all about reacting to what the market is telling you. It's not about predicting or guessing what's going to happen next. And that, right there, is the difference between a pro and an amateur. And you can see the two paths right here. On the left, you've got the predictor. This person is basically just gambling. They're hoping a level breaks or hoping a level will hold. But then look to the right. That's the reactor. That's who we want to be. The reactor doesn't hope. They wait for proof. They wait for the market to prove the level has broken. And then they wait for a second piece of proof that the market is now respecting it. We're only going to act on confirmed facts, not on a feeling. And this is the tool that forces you to be the reactor. This is our 4-step, absolutely non-negotiable checklist. And when I say non-negotiable, I mean it. If even just one of these things isn't met, the setup is invalid. You don't take the trade, you just move on. It's as simple as that. So here they are, the 4 pillars: trend, break, retest, and confirmation. Think of each one as a filter. Each step is designed to weed out the bad setups, the low probability scenarios, until only the A-plus trades are left. So let's break down exactly what we're looking for in each step. First up, trend context. This is your homework. You do this before the market even opens. You pull up the daily chart and you ask one question. Is there a clear trend? Are we making higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows? If it's just chopping sideways in a big range, this setup is off the table, period. We are only looking to surf in the direction of the big wave, the higher time frame trend. Okay, next up, the break. Now listen closely, this part is crucial. A wick sticking through a level is not a break. It's just a test, it's noise. What you need to see is a full candle body closing decisively on the other side of that level. That candle should show some real power, you know? It should be bigger than the candles that came before it. And of course, it has to be going in the same direction as the daily trend we just identified. Now, for the retest. And this is where patience really pays off. After that strong break, you just wait. You wait for the price to come back to that broken level. And you want to see it come back in an orderly way, not in some violent, sharp reversal that wipes out the entire move. And here's the most important rule. The price cannot close back inside that old structure. If it does, the level failed to hold, the setup is dead, move on. And finally, we have the most important step of all, confirmation. You do not, I repeat, do not enter the trade just because the price touches the level. You have to wait for the market to give you a specific signal that tells you, yep, buyers or sellers are showing up here. It could be a long rejection wick, a powerful engulfing candle, or the break of a tight inside bar. You need to see one of these 3 things at that retest zone. That is your green light. Seriously, let that one sink in. That confirmation signal isn't just a pretty little pattern on your chart. It's hard evidence. It's proof that other traders, big money, are stepping in right there to defend that level. If you enter without that evidence, you're not trading. You're just gambling on a hope. So once all 4 of those boxes are ticked, then and only then do we move to execution. And this part is completely mechanical. There's no more thinking, no more guessing. You just follow the rules to the letter. And here are those rules. Super simple. Your entry is as soon as that confirmation candle closes. Your stop loss goes just below the lowest point of the entire retest pattern, giving it some breathing room. That defines your risk. And your target? That's the next logical area of structure, which, by the way, you should have already mapped out in your pre-market analysis. And there's one final gatekeeper. Before you click that button, you do a quick calculation. Is the distance to your target at least 1.5 times the distance to your stop loss? If the math doesn't add up, if the potential reward isn't big enough to justify the risk, you pass. You walk away, even if it looks perfect. Risk management is king. And hey, here's a quick pro tip, especially for those of you who are trading funded accounts, where the psychology can be intense. Think about taking half of your position off the table when the trade hits a 1-to-1 reward for your risk. It's a great way to lock in some profit, pay yourself, and it makes it so much easier to let the rest of the trade run stress-free. Okay, let's flip this around for a second. Every single step in that checklist is specifically designed to protect you from a very common, very expensive mistake. So let's name these traps so you know exactly what to look out for. And here they are, the greatest hits of losing money. Number 1, pure impatience, entering on just a touch. 2, trying to fight a freight train by going counter-trend. 3, making up levels as you go instead of trusting your prep. 4, the cardinal sin of moving your stop loss further away once you're in the trade. And 5, getting chopped up in that crazy, chaotic opening 15 minutes. The checklist saves you from all of these. I want you to think about it this way. This checklist isn't some boring paperwork designed to slow you down. It's a shield. It's your professional armor against those emotional, impulsive decisions that absolutely wreck most trading accounts. So where is all of this going? I mean, it sounds so mechanical, so rigid. But what's funny is that this mechanical process, this is actually the fastest way to develop that gut feel, that true expert-level intuition you hear so much about. And the key to making that transformation is your journal. It becomes your personal data set for getting better. You have to record everything. Every setup you took, every good one you missed, and, this is the most important part, every setup you rejected because it failed the checklist. That data is what sharpens your eye and lets you see these patterns almost instantly over time. And that's really the whole ball game. That seasoned trader you see who seems to have this magical feel for the market, they're not magic. They're just running a highly practiced, internalized checklist so fast it looks automatic. They've put in the reps. So the only question left is, are you willing to build the process that leads to that kind of intuition?